Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for March 20th, 2013, the start of spring, although it doesn't feel like it outside right now, with temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior and lower to mid 30s along the coast. And being that it's almost 9 a.m., it's 8:48 a.m. right now, that's pretty chilly for this time of year. And with a westerly wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour, temperatures really feel like the mid to upper 20s. So not exactly the warmest start to spring, but at the very least it's dry for the most part throughout the region with low humidity. We do have a few isolated snow showers trying to move through the northern tier via lake effect influence. Basically what we have is cold air moving off of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, and that cold air is picking up some moisture and depositing it in the form of a few isolated snow showers over Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, northern New Jersey, and northeastern Pennsylvania. But for the most part, again, we're relatively dry with a nice northwesterly flow. Taking a look at the latest infrared satellite picture, you can see a nice low pressure system, our old coastal low, lifting up towards the Canadian Maritimes, and we're on the back side of that upper level low and the surface low, producing a nice northwesterly flow from the Great Lakes right into the northern mid-Atlantic, leading to cold really, and dry conditions for the next several days. At least through this weekend, it's going to be dry. It's just going to be chilly. Temperatures basically averaging below normal in the mid to upper 40s today and upper 40s to lower 50s for this weekend. Taking a look at the latest water vapor satellite picture, this is a whole key to the forecast over the next 10 days. This upper level low is going to set up and continue to produce what's called a negative NAO pattern, which basically means we get a big block in Greenland, a nice big upper level low around the Canadian Maritimes, and that draws a lot of cold air that's sitting up here in northern Canada down into the northern mid-Atlantic, keeping us basically cold with temperatures below normal. On the good side, though, the Pacific is certainly changing with a very active weather pattern. Keep an eye on this trough as it shifts towards the west coast here, because what's going to happen is we're going to start to carve out a nice trough in the west, and that eventually is going to lead to a ridge building over the Mississippi River Valley and Tennessee River Valley. And eventually what that could mean, if this negative NAO pattern shifts a little bit further east, of a ridge building up the east coast. But that won't be until we get into April. In the meantime, through the rest of March, we're going to be dealing with this northwesterly flow and cool conditions. But will it be stormy? That is the question. Taking a look at the latest European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website, you can see our upper level low here, our northwesterly flow, dry yet chilly conditions in place for this evening, continuing on through tomorrow into the weekend. You see we remain on the backside of this upper level low. Now on the positive side, that means that we're going to have dry conditions, because what we have is an area of convergence, which basically means high pressure is going to be in control. But on the negative side, we're going to be cool, with temperatures in the mid to upper 40s over the interior, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. Yes, it's not anything like last year, but we're near 80 degrees on some days. But at the very least, we're dry. Now, we're going to keep an eye on this disturbance here, because what we're looking for moving forward towards the early part of next week is this upper level disturbance digging south. Now, the previous model guidance had this storm much stronger and this disturbance much more impressive. What's happening on the European model guidance is that this big upper level low is suppressing the storm, leading to practically just a few scattered showers and snow showers for Monday. However, other model guidance has this upper level low a little bit further north, this storm a little bit deeper, still rain for the coast, but higher potential for some snow and sleet and freezing rain for the interior locations, much like the previous storm, although slightly warmer in the overall environment. So we'll have to keep an eye on this storm and see exactly how it develops over the next several days. As we move forward towards the end of the forecast period, by the time we get into next weekend, there is signs of good news. We're seeing this trough develop in the west, more of a zonal pattern with the polar jet stream, and our block starting to break down a bit. If that happens, then what we can expect is all this warm air building over the west and over the Gulf Coast to finally start to make its run towards the northeast, as all of this air is pushed from west to east. So I have to keep an eye on that as well. Basically, the key is that this high pressure system drops southeast and starts producing a southwesterly flow by the time we get into the first week of April. That's what we're going to watch for, and basically this whole complex of low pressure systems shifted more towards Iceland rather than the Canadian Maritimes. Well, that is your forecast discussion for today. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. And of course, become a premium member. It only costs us $10 a month. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.